This week on Modded, we look at Blood in the West, then we'll be visiting the land of Skyrim with Ray, and wrapping up with the awesome classic Black Mesa. Now, on to the show. Blood in the West is a Mount & Blade warband mod, taking you into the mystical world of Tolkien's Middle-earth. Blood in the West allows players to take part in one of the most engaging fantasy universes ever devised. There are 6 factions: Gondor, Mordor, Rohan, Isengard, the Dwarven, and the Elven kingdoms, all of which are run and managed by leaders from the original saga of books and films. The world map is impressively accurate, with almost everywhere mentioned in the books available to both visit, conquer, and rule over. Places such as Smaug's Cave, or Mount Doom itself, as we mentioned earlier, Minas Tirith, the city of Dale is there, Hobbiton obviously, Rivendell, anywhere from the original books or series that you loved or would have wanted to have visited can be found. Special units have been added to the game, including Ents, trolls with larger skeletons, so they're not actually seemingly big, they're actually big. You can hit them almost anywhere on their body, although I found it a bit difficult with a crossbow, but that could just be being unlucky. They've added orcs, Uruk-hai, goblins, Dunderlings, Easterlings on the side of Sauron, and on the Free Peoples, elves, rangers, Northmen, and dwarves. Mordor has its own unique landscape and is impressively detailed, including a very, very tall Mount Doom. The best thing about Mordor is that when you go over there and you try and fight, for a start, the actual NPCs with the armies act just like you would expect them to act. As you walk in, they all swarm you, which doesn't sound like much, but because it's such a small region enclosed, you get about 6 or 7 different armies with about 160 people running at you at the same time, and then it becomes quite unmanageable, which is realistic. It shouldn't be easy to just go into Mordor and take it over, you know? So that's awesome. And also, when you fight on that part of the map, you get a lot of stuff like the floor at the bottom underneath you is molten, it's destroyed, it's decrepit, there's no trees, there's no greenery, it's just like a dead land, which is perfect, exactly what I wanted to envision or play in when I was playing Lord of the Rings. Each race has its own unique units and unique arm and weapon sets. For example, when you see a goblin, you see a goblin from the film. When you see a man of Gondor, you'll see many different variants of them and different armor styles, different shield designs, all the different ones that in the book are mentioned, but in the films, unfortunately, were a little bit lacking. Things like the difference between the Knights of Dol Amroth and your standard Minas Tirith foot troop compared to the old Gondorian Guard of the Númenóreans, for example. Each one of them had a very different and unique armor set that kind of changed throughout the times. And the other thing is they do have weapons that are realistic from each different age of Middle-earth, which, if you don't know about, I would recommend very highly going and reading The Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit, because it will explain a lot of it. There are a bunch of particularly cool companions, including the Fellowship members and other characters of note, such as Éowyn and Bard from the most recent Hobbit films and books. Plenty of awesome themed mercenaries have been added to the game. They've also added a bunch of other items and new things to the game. For example, you obviously get loot from caravans. They now have loot such as a barrel full of old Toby and stuff like that, which is awesome because it's nice to have those little touches within the mod that kind of bring you back into the world. Because really, when you're doing a mod like this, you're trying to approach it in a almost storytelling capacity, but giving someone the freedom to take it where they want. So the problem you're faced with immediately is, how do I create the world that it will feel to them like they're in this world, but that it's not going to happen like the official world happens, that they're going to have the freedom to do that. And I think adding in items that are themed with the books and with the films is a great choice. When playing the mod, I felt pretty awesome to be able to play in the world of Tolkien. I found that it was easy to get into the world and get going. Some start points are harder than others, such as Gondor. Being so close to Mordor, the Witch King's army can get a little bit headstrong and go after you pretty early. It's about a medium difficulty in combat compared to other mods I've played, and although it was a little bit choppy at times, most likely due to fraps, it held up on DirectX 9 quite well, despite the suggested use of DirectX 7. All in all, I really enjoyed the mod, and would recommend it to anyone looking for a mod set in an engaging fantasy world. For more information or to download the mod, check out the links in the description. And now, on to Ray for some Skyrim action.
The modded community has many different factions, sections, and areas that have a huge fan base. One game in particular has probably one of the biggest fan bases out there, and that's Bethesda's Skyrim. Skyrim has had its own expansions and updates and doodads and bebops and flip-flops, but it's the modded community that's really made Skyrim the game it is today. Skyrim's mods have done things that even Bethesda didn't think of, ranging from creating custom areas that Bethesda didn't even create, difficulty spikes and things like your dragons that you fight, and of course, making your own spells or even developing your own race. And that's what today's mod is going to be about, is a special race near and dear to my heart known as the Temptress. The Temptress is, right now, as far as I can tell, the only female-only based custom race made by the modded community. She even comes packed with her own custom racials. Her seductive mayhem allows her to use her feminine wiles to turn all the enemies, well, not even enemies, all the NPCs around you hostile. That will either attack you on sight, or if you're hidden, will cause them to attack one another. I went ahead and tried it in a couple of areas. I did it in the Companion Stronghold, and I did it right in the middle of Whiterun. Needless to say, chaos ensued. The companions, after trying to chop my head off, started going after each other, and I got to sit back and enjoy the ride. And then I unleashed my feminine wiles right next to the Talus little guy that I hate so much that I want to kill every time I walk through the stupid city. I unleashed it right there, hoping that somebody would kill him. Unfortunately, he kills the chick that's talking to him, but that's beside the point. Her other ability is called Seductive Harmony, which acts as the counterpart to her mayhem, which allows you to turn all NPCs or regular enemies around you into unhostile targets, which is really good for calming everybody down after you send them crazy with your mayhem. Now, in the companions area, it was a little bit easier to let that happen and not get your head chopped off. However, I don't suggest using mayhem in the middle of the town, because even though you put them back to all's good and harmony, the guards still don't take too kindly to your mischief. In fact, I got killed on my way out because I'm an idiot. I didn't get to actually stop the attacks until I went back inside and one of the guards finally confronted me and like, "Hey, I am your Thane, quit attacking me," which they did promptly. One other thing that she gets is called Temptress Resistance, which makes you blessed with a divine and born with an immunity to disease. With this mod, you also get a chance to have your own Temptress follower. The Vixen, Eliza, Sasha, Jasmine, and Chloe. They're found throughout the entire world, one in Whiterun, Solitude, Windhelm, Markoth, and Riften. So if you want to find them and add them to your party, go for it. When creating your Temptress, I must reiterate, it is a female-only class. None of the things that you could achieve as a Temptress will work if you choose the male. And when building your female, you also get your own hairstyle, as you see on my lovely Temptress here. It's a bright, shiny, goddess-like purple, not unlike any kind of anime you would watch, adds to her feminine charm. The Temptress also works with any kind of transformation, including vampires. So don't worry about breaking the game if you are a vampire or you want to be a vampire, because, let's face it, the modded community is awesome. And on top of that, if you want to turn one of your characters into the race without having to start a brand new character, you can. There's a step-by-step process in the link below that goes through all the recent patches for the mod, including step-by-step on how to get your current character to be the lovely, lovely Temptress. The Temptress also works well with this CBBEV3 mod, which transforms the female characters in the game to be more feminine-like. So make sure you have that installed to bring out the full possibility of your Temptress. Temptress is an awesome race, and I'm looking forward to trying her out further on in my adventures in Skyrim as I turn her into one of the smoothest talking thieves that the world has ever seen. You have to take advantage of this because she already comes with a little bit of a boost to her speech, so make sure you take advantage of that when you play your Temptress. Good hunting, good dragon slaying, and now we're going to swing it back over to Burns.
Thanks, Ray, and now let's look at Black Mesa. Black Mesa is a classic mod that is, in my opinion, one of the best mods ever made, and it's definitely in my top 5. If you've never played this mod, then you have really missed out, but now is the perfect time to do so. Very soon, a standalone version of the mod will be released through Steam Greenlight and will be available for purchase. The mod is amazing, and many people are excited about the standalone to see what will be new and how much further on it has come. The mod is made using the ever-popular and heavily moddable Source engine, and it's a complete conversion of the original Half-Life game. With an exciting storyline and engaging gameplay, Black Mesa is one of the few releases coming on Steam soon that I am actually genuinely excited about. To not ruin too much of the story, I've kept the footage limited because, like with all of my favourite games, Black Mesa has an incredible in-depth storyline, and I just didn't want to ruin even a second of it. The best thing about this mod is that it feels like a fully released Valve publication, not just a fan-made mod. The incredible dedication to the details in this mod are what make it suitable for full release on Steam. And it's more than a mod, it's a complete game in its own right, and is a credit to the team who worked so hard to create something so beautiful. When you're playing the mod, you feel almost like it's an extension of the Half-Life games and the storyline they follow. I mean, and that is what they've aimed for, and that's what they've achieved. Everyone who I've ever spoken to, this was the first mod I was introduced to when it came to modding, and everyone I've ever spoken to has just said that Black Mesa set the precedent for kind of total conversion mods, and I'd agree with that. It's a fantastic mod with an engaging playstyle, an engaging story in a brilliant, vibrant world, and just everything about it. I mean, the AI are a little bit not so good, but I think when we get the standalone version, the AI are going to be a lot smarter. I think they've been working really hard on this, and I'm so excited to see what actually comes of all the work and all the dedication, all the time that's been put into this. For me, Black Mesa, when I'm playing it, is something I can literally get lost into. I can lose a whole morning, whole afternoon, whole evening, even a whole day just to playing it. I mean, it's one of those ones with such an engaging story that I don't play it. It's not the kind of game I would just pick up every day and play every week, but once every couple of months I'll pick it back up, play through the storyline, and it's just one of those mods. It really cheers me to even speak about it because it's got such dedication put into it. You can tell the love, the care, the detail, the hard work that's gone into this mod to make it just something so beautiful. Another great thing about Black Mesa as a mod is that the voice acting is actually really good. It's really good. Voice acting is something for me that when you've got a storyline based mod, particularly using the Source engine, can either make or break it. A lot of times you hear the voice acting in these mods and it's really subpar. It's kind of very amateurishly done. They obviously found someone who's got talent but not the mic nor the editing software to make it sound good. But one of the best things I think even from day one of Black Mesa as a mod has been that the voice acting is strong and it supports the storyline, which is important. If you're telling a story, you want people to not just believe it but to be able to feel it, and good voice acting makes all the difference with that. As usual, all links are in the description for this amazing mod, and I do want to thank Ray and thank you for watching this week's episode of Modded. Be sure to like the video so that we know you're enjoying what we do and want more in the future. Favourite and subscribe for more awesomeness, and be sure to check out our other shows such as Locked On and #Dafa. Thank you so much for watching. I've been Bern and this was Modded. We'll see you next week.